Looks like Danny O'Neill is the last one to join. I tell you what, with that, make sure everyone, if you would, just send me a chat message if you want to ask Bruce a question. Keep your mics on mute if you would. And Bruce, thanks for joining. And Danny, I think I'll give you the honors to start out.
Bruce!
What up, Danny? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, brother. Good to see you.
It's good to see you, too. I don't have any McDonald's for you today. Social distancing negates my ability to bring you fast food.
I'm going to send you my address so you can send my gift card.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good.
good.
How does it feel to be back with Seattle?
In one word, I would say refreshing. Very refreshing. Knowing that I'm going to a situation that I know that they run it very professional. They take care of their players. You're gonna always work. And you're always gonna compete. And you're always gonna be competitive in every game you step in. So for me at this stage of my career is going to the best situation. And I felt like going back home. Seattle I consider it home, my football home at least. That was the best thing that could happen to me, especially in year 9. I couldn't ask for a better situation.
When you think about it being year 9, how does that make you feel?
Old as hell. This is a blessing, man. A lot of people can't say they made it 9 years in the league, so it's a blessing.
Congratulations, man.
All right, Greg Bell.
Hi, Bruce. Welcome back. When you were here the first time, you talked somewhat about the Seahawks and what opportunity they gave you coming into the league. What specifically has Pete Carroll and Ken Norton meant to your life?
Man, I don't even think we'll be here for damn near 3 hours if I had to tell you that. Especially Norton. Norton's a guy I consider, not only as my coach, but as a father figure. The guy, took me to Oakland with him, and also, he played a major role in bringing me back to Seattle. And Pete and John, I always thank them for giving me my first opportunity coming out, because you guys know I had major red flags, and they stuck their nose out there for me, and they took a chance, and it came back around full circle. They gave me another opportunity, and I can, words can't explain how much I appreciate them.
Of course, your first go around here, strong side linebacker. What role have they said for you at this time around?
Pretty much the same. First and second down, Sam, and third down, defensive end. So it's pretty much the same.
Thank you.
Corbin Smith.
Hi, Bruce. You obviously spent the last 4 years with a couple different teams. How, looking back at that time, since you've been away from Seattle, what areas do you think you've grown the most as a player? And being exposed to different coaches and different schemes, how is that going to benefit you now in your second tenure with the Seahawks?
Think about it. I've really been with Norton most of my career, 4 years. And then 2.5, so six and a half years I've been with Norton. So, but I've experienced a lot of different systems, and I can't complain about any one of them because it was an opportunity, and I would be forever grateful. But as far as my game, and I seen the article you wrote because I be on Twitter a lot. And I be on Twitter, and I seen it was like a couple of weeks ago. You did like film study or something, and I see it, and I appreciate that, brother. But as far as my game, I think I'm more of a polished player now than I was in Seattle. I think I'm a better player now than I was my first 4 years in Seattle. The game is slower. I know how to set up certain moves. I know how to study film now. So it's just a lot of things, man. I know how to take care of my body better. It's just that things that come with maturity and with age, and with being around the right group of people, that taught me from the beginning. The Red Bryants and the Brandon Meebangs and Chris Clemens. you know, the Michael Bennett, you know, those guys showed me when I was younger, you know, how to be a pro on and off the field. So it's just crazy that I'm in their position now. You know, I got to show younger guys how to, you know, take care of their bodies and steady and stuff like that. It's just crazy, man. But nonetheless, I'm just happy to be in the situation, brother.
Thanks, Bruce.
Aaron Levine.
Sort of answer my question, Bruce, but welcome back to Seattle. Obviously, you had one of your more productive years last season in regards to sacks. What do you think was different in Carolina, being in a different system than maybe you were with Norton in Oakland and obviously in Seattle prior?
I think they used me a little more at end. We was in nickel a little more. You know, a lot of times we was already down 21-0 in the first quarter, so we kind of got out of the base stuff. But I just think I just had a lot more opportunities. We was in nickel a lot more, so that gave me opportunities to rush the passer more. And, you know, I thought I was really productive, being that I missed the first 3 games, and still came back and put up solid numbers. So, you know, it was just me getting more opportunities because we was in nickel more than base.
Thanks a lot, Bruce.
Mike Dugar.
What's up, Bruce? You know, that 2012 draft class, you guys have talked about, you know, feeling slighted in the draft grades from then and getting an F from people. What has that slight, you know, meant for the careers of the 2012 class, do you think? How has that fueled you guys?
Oh man, I think a lot of us still look at that. And, you know, I look at it every time the draft come on. I think I'll always remember that for the rest of my life around draft time. You know, the way they talked about us and talked about how little Russell was and talked about how I went too early and Bobby this. And, you know, when we got there, we won the Super Bowl the next year. So, you know, we really could have won. We really could have went the first year, but we won the second year and went back the next year. So, you know, we didn't ever speak on it publicly, but we would talk about it amongst ourselves. And, you know, I think we really proven to people that their grade was obviously wrong. Ben Russell's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and Bobby is one of the best. And I'm going on 9 years, and I got 50-some sacks. So it's just it's what it is, man. But bunch of people who grade stuff and never played the game, and you know, obviously they was wrong that year.
Thanks.
Jen Mueller.
Hey there, Bruce. You touched on this just a little bit ago. You were one of the veterans in that locker room now. Given the knowledge that you have of Norton and of the league, what's the conversation or the message that you give those rookies and those young guys right now?
Well, you know, this is an unusual time for us. You know, usually we'll be around those guys, and, you know, this will be our second week around the rookies right now. So we just try to talk to them, you know, as much as we can and let them know, you know, at the end of the day, this still is work. Sometimes you got to make adjustments to situations, but you got to make it do what it do. And I think those guys, Brooks and Taylor and all those guys are doing a great job, are really taking advantage of this time and focusing on really diving into your playbook. You know, this is a time where you could really get into your playbook, and you know, there's really everything's closed, and what else is there to do? You know, it's only your livelihood. So I think those guys are doing a great job of, you know, getting the meetings early and staying after, and I think they're doing really good at picking up the scheme.
Good deal. Thank you.
John Boyle.
Bruce, how are you? You touched on this a little bit, but with the 2012 draft class, you played against, obviously, Russell. I think you got a sack on him even with Carolina. I mean, just now you're going into year 9 that you're going to be teammates still with him and with Bruce, or with Bobby, excuse me. Just what's that like knowing it's coming full circle and you guys are still together all these years later?
Like I said, man, it's just refreshing. You know, all three of us have had, I would consider, successful careers. On the field, we've produced, and off the field, I think all three of us are pretty financially stable. So, you know, what more can you ask for? You know, it's, you know, all three of us haven't sustained really a lot of bad injuries, so that's also a blessing. You know, so I just think I just gonna cherish this year, man, and do what I got to do to see if I can get a few more years with him, and that'll work itself out. But as of now, I just want to do what I got to do, and when I get back, make sure I'm ready to take care of business.
Art Teal.
Before the shutdown and talk with Coach Carroll and the rest of the staff?
Hey, Art, you were on mute most of your question. Could you repeat that, please?
Okay. Did you get out to Seattle before before the shutdown to talk with Coach Carroll?
No, I didn't get out there to visit, but I talked to him.
Mm-hmm. And what was the conversation like?
Just every time we talk, it's really like a reunion. We both be excited to talk to each other and always bring up the memories that we have together and stuff like that. So it's always a reunion type vibe, and a lot of laughs and a lot of hugs, and just always good to see one another.
And the second question is, what about when you left Seattle for Oakland? You mentioned that you thought that it was going to be great to get out of the Sam position and get some pass rushing going on, because you said it was limiting your career. Was that true then, and is it true now as far as coming back to the same position, the same team?
I would just say that was a younger Bruce talking. Because when I went to Oakland, I still was the same. Just rushing more. Norton made it to where I was rushing more as far instead of dropping, but I still played the same exact position. So I think that was more of a younger Bruce talking, and not really knowing, the dynamics of the situation and the scheme completely. But no, I don't feel that way at all anymore.
Thanks.
Tim Booth.
Hey, Bruce. Two quick questions. Was Seattle your primary option this offseason? Did you have other teams that you were talking to, or did Seattle kind of jump up right away as the primary place you wanted to go?
Seattle was the primary place when we played them. After we played, was it week 14 or something? I was like, damn, man, I wish I was with those guys. After the Philly game, actually, I sent Bobby a text message while they was on the plane. I was like, damn, I wish I was on that plane with y'all and shit. So, I just wanted to come back, man. I've never, like I said, I can't complain about anywhere I've been, but, nothing has been like Seattle from how they travel to how we practice, how they take care of their older players, from the cafeteria, from the facility being on the lake, it's just everything, man. It's just grade A, and it's just they run it right up there, man. I'm just happy to be back.
And then, you mentioned it earlier, but Bobby and Russ are really the only guys that are still left from the last time you were here. Is there anything that you guys you have to do, or you guys as a defensive unit, or anything just to build sort of that relationship and camaraderie as a group, because you guys are separated from each other right now?
You got KJ too, but
sorry, I didn't want to leave out KJ.
I think with us, we've been in this thing long enough, man, to know how to make adjustments, and know that we got to work 2 or 3 times harder now, being apart from each other, and with this situation going on. So I think with us, we all know, and we've been in this thing long enough to know that we got to work our tails off, because when we get back, it's going to be full throttle, and it's going to be time to get going. So I think we'll be all right.
Thanks, Bruce.
Bob Condotta.
Yeah, hey, Bruce. Just to follow up on Tim's question, was it pretty much a slam dunk coming to Seattle, or did you have some other offers, or did they jump on you really quickly when free agency opened?
Man, it was pretty much Seattle, to be honest. A few other teams, but not to the extent of talks that me and Seattle were getting into it from opening day. So, I would say, yeah, pretty much Seattle.
And I know you sort of had a chance to come back when you got released by Oakland the one time, right? And you went to Atlanta. Did you? Was that the only other time you had a chance to come back to Seattle, or?
I think that was last year. The 2018, I think that was really the only chance that I had an opportunity to come back.
You just wanted to go to Atlanta at that time, or?
I just was going through a lot at Oakland. Gruden had came in, and Gruden is as advertised. He's a crazy man. So, things didn't work out. So we both agreed that it was best for me to part ways. And I was just going through so much, man. I just wanted to go back to Atlanta, because that's where all my family is and stuff like that. So that played more into it, man. I just wanted to get home and regroup and refresh and be around family.
Great. Thank you, Bruce. Thanks.
All right, Joe Fan.
Hey, Bruce. Curious about who Pete has brought into your meetings just to kind of keep things fresh. I know Will Ferrell was a part of it. I know Quandre tweeted yesterday that Steve Kerr was a part of it. I'm just curious, are there other guys there? And then maybe particularly with Steve Kerr, what was his message for you guys?
He was really talking about the Jordan, how much of a competitor Jordan was, how he wanted to win, whether it was horse or shooting dice. He was just the all-time competitor. But that's what Pete do. I done met Snoop Dogg, Drake, Bill Russell. Man, I done met so many people. That's just what he does, bro. He just, that's why he's a players coach, and he always keeps it interesting. You want to go to work. Like some people get up and be like, damn, I got to do 8 hours in here today. But with the Seahawks, it's just like, man, I know it's going to be something interesting today. Like you want to go to work. So that's really big, man. That's really big.
Are there other guys he's had, or just those two so far?
Just so far, it's been Will Ferrell and Steve Kerr.
Okay. And then switching gears real quick, you mentioned you're on Twitter quite a bit. I'm sure you've seen the conversation among Seahawks Twitter about the Seahawks pass rush in general, and pretty scrutinized 28 sacks last year. I'm just curious what you make of the group you guys have as it stands right now, and where you see things going this year.
I think pass rushing is very difficult in this league. I think people just think you just line up out there and teams go get 50 sacks a season. But shit, I was with Carolina and we worked our ass off last year to get 54 sacks. Man, it's a grind. But with this group, it's a young group. Benson's he produced last year, but I don't think Benson has ever been in a major role, like a major starting role as a premier rusher. But I have the complete 100% faith that he can do that. But I just think we got a young group, and we got to work. I couldn't predict how many sacks we're gonna get right now, but I think we got a young, talented group, and I'm gonna work my ass to lead these boys. And whoever comes in is just we'll welcome with open arms, and I just hope they be ready to work. But I think we got a talented group, man. I think we're gonna be better than a lot of people think we are.
Awesome. Thanks, Bruce.
All right, I've got a couple more. Nico Marino.
Hey there, Bruce. Welcome back. I wanted to know, you kind of touched on that a little bit, and you mentioned how Pete is able to just make it fun to go to work. And now that you've had a chance to go and experience different teams, different coaches, is that the main aspect that makes Pete different? Is that motivational part, or what is it? What trait is it that makes him such a good coach, someone who you want to go play for?
He's like I said, he's just a player's coach, man. Anybody who's been in this league as long as I have can tell you that, this shit is a grind. You've been around the families. You be around your people at work more than your own family. So it's like, why not make it a fun environment? Why not make it to where people want to come to work? They want to work hard for you. They want to bust their ass for you at practice and practice hard for you, so it translates to Sunday. That's what you want. And I can tell you, every team is not like that. Pete knows how to take care of his players. We don't wear full pads the whole season. I think you allow 16 padded practices. I think Pete maybe used 7 or 8. That's half the season, and we practice it with no pads. So it's just a lot of things that make it a top program, man. And like I said, I'm just happy to be a part of it again.
Thank you.
All right, last question, Curtis Crabtree.
Bruce, good to see you. I was kind of curious. you were obviously pretty close with Khalil Mack when you guys were together down there in Oakland. What's the biggest thing you took away from playing with him and being around him and learned from him over the time you guys spent together?
Just the grind, man. You know, Khalil was one of the most humblest person you could meet. You know, especially for how much success he's had, you know, and how rich he is now. So you would never think who he is. He still comes to work. He busts his ass. He takes criticism. He's willing to learn. You know, I don't got all pros like he had, but he was willing to learn from me. You know, if I seen something, he would ask me. And that's big, man. A lot of superstars like him, you know, when they get to a certain level, you can't tell them anything anymore. They know it all. But him is different. He's always willing to learn. And, you know, he's a great person. He's a really great person.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Bruce, thanks a lot. We appreciate you jumping on today.
Appreciate you, brother.
Bruce, what are you talking about?
Thanks, Bruce.
Take care.